How's it guys, Munash here, back with more Alliance War, and this is the 7th war of the season, and this time I'm going with Dr. Doom and I'm bringing back Quake. So today we're up against AGT Graphite, pretty solid Master Alliance, a few good players there that I know, very similar to us in terms of Alliance rating, prestige and all those type of stats, so yeah, pretty balanced matchmaking. Okay, so as usual we're going to get on to part 1. And today our first fight is going to be this rank 3 Cosmic Ghost Rider, who is a champ I've seen in Alliance War, or rather I've fought in Alliance War once before where I used Nick Fury when he had Stunning Reflection on the mini-boss node. And I'm going to use Quake for this one just because she bypasses Arc Overload completely at the start of the fight. So at first I wasn't 100% confident for this fight just because this is a champ that I've literally never Quaked before. So I wasn't sure if I would need to learn his animations, if I need time to adapt, but then I just asked around and apparently it's a very straightforward fight to Quake, not difficult at all in terms of animations. So yeah, it was a pretty simple fight. I think I parried maybe once or twice, but yeah, I sort of also just learned his animations as the fight went. This is not really a fight where I need to learn the combos, but you know, if I wanted to do heavy only, then yeah. So at least he has some very easy to identify combo enders. He uses his guns for the medium attacks. So yeah, CGR is not really a good defender, or at least not from my experience. He's not defensive and he doesn't have any really annoying mechanics. But I can see why one would place him. This one is a rank 3 and obviously you need 50 different defenders for diversity. And he's still a pretty new champ. So not that many people have him or have experience fighting him. And being pretty new, he's also not easy to find as a dual target right now. I actually couldn't find one, so I couldn't practice for this fight. But either way, not that difficult with Quake, and I still remember how to dex his special 1. It's not the hardest in the world. So yeah, I would have just doomed this, or maybe not doomed, but I would have just used any other champ who can deal with the regen. Also, he doesn't have that much health, obviously, just being on the first node, so I can get him down very comfortably in under 2 minutes without boosts. So yeah, a very comfortable fight for Quake. And he goes down. Alright, now moving on, we have Hyperion with Masochism and Indomitable. So this is a standard Doom fight. The only thing is I have to be careful with Masochism, being able to shrug off or not apply my debuffs. So I'm going to reparry a few times, you know, just so I can trigger Masochism and then actually stun him with the parry. But I just want to make sure I get those staggers up and maintain them just to prevent the power gain. But either way, I can always just, you know, use the special 1 to nullify. But yeah, I mean, with an Awakened Doom, Hyperion fights are generally pretty straightforward. And the power gain can help you there as well. And yeah, 1 special 3 and he's already at 69%. Now I did make one slight mistake here where I actually forgot about Masochism. So I parried and then I wanted to drop a combo. And fortunately, he threw a heavy attack, so he didn't actually punish me for that. So I can just carry on my combos, get to 3 balls of power to throw another special 3, and that should almost take him out. Probably just need to do one more Doom rotation, or Doom combo. And then I did do a shortened combo, just to make sure I don't shoot to 2 balls of power with the power gains. But if that did happen, I would have just taken him out for the special 2 either way. But now it's kind of a habit just from fighting champs like AGT-G. So yeah, very good matchup for Doom, and now we have Darkhawk with Strike Counter Fury, Armor and Power Drain of the special attacks. So this is a pretty good fight for Quake. Even though he is defensive, you can just heavy parry. And he will go down fairly quickly. I mean, Quake can basically bypass all those nodes. So I'm going to start off by doing heavy dash back till I'm in a corner. Then, you know, I'll probably throw in some heavy only. Get off heavy parry here and there. And he is playing a little bit passively, which is always nice. You know, just makes the fight a bit easier with Quake. Usually you want them to be more aggressive, but with Quake, you know, passive play is always welcome. Just because you can hold your heavy for a bit longer, increase the aftershock damage. And yeah, I mean, Darkhawk is one of those champs that I Quake the vast majority of the time when I see him in an Alliance War. So yeah, it's a very straightforward fight. Then I did drop my heavy attack, hoping it will take him out. So now it's at 1%, I dropped 2 hits, and then I just start to back up so I don't get auto-blocked, you know, just to be safe. Because in shield mode, you know, you're not doing that much crit damage, and yeah, just charge the heavy attack and he goes down. Now, moving on to the center, we have Nova with Aggression Prowess, Mixmaster, and Power Focus 1. So this is a fight I've never done before. I rarely fight Novas in war actually, and this is a node that I also rarely take. Usually there's a Korg placed here, and Swedia always has a counter for that, but yeah, today they placed a Nova, which is quite different, and welcomed, because it was quite a nice fight with Doom. But like I said, I haven't done this fight before, and I rarely take this node, so I decided to use some lesser boosts just to be extra safe. But they really weren't necessary because Doom just controlled the fight really well, and yeah, the fight kind of went exactly as expected. So what I need to do is shorten combos. Basically, I need to do a medium, light, heavy combo just to avoid triggering the Mixmaster node, or rather to avoid him evading with the Mixmaster node. Because he will evade if I do the same basic attack twice in a row. So I can't do 2 light attacks in a row or even 2 heavy attacks. And that also means I won't be using my special 3 in this fight because I won't be able to do the usual Doom combos, you know, with triple lights and double mediums. So I am just going to be sticking to special 1s and special 2. Special 1 for the aura and all the utility it brings, such as the power steal, the nullify, and special 2 more for damage. So ideally I am just trying to bait the special 1 and avoid him throwing special 2s, just because the special 1 is easier to dex, or more importantly it's just easier to dex, then parry the last hit and then punish, which is generally good to do against stubborn fights if you're not using a defensive champ. But Doom is defensive and the shortened combos are allowing me to parry a bit more than I usually would, so I can build up a good amount of those destructible charges. Then I won't really have to worry about triggering the indestructible. So every time he gains 2 bars of power, I can actually very quickly just steal some of that power with the special 1. Then I don't have to worry about the special 2. And I do run level 4 Mystic Dispersion, and he does have quite a few buffs, so the power gain is going to be very nice for this fight. So yeah, another very well controlled fight for Doom. And now we're going to move on to section 2, path 6, and first up I have this Tigra with Rage and Enhanced Fury. So once again I'm going to use Doom for this one, just because he does handle Rage pretty well in general, with his abilities to nullify. And also I just really do like him for the Tigra matchup in general, because then I don't have to worry about his special 2, I can always just bait special 1, push to special 3, steal power back, and yeah, just carry on the Doom cycle. If it weren't for Rage, I might have Quaked this one, because she only has 112,000 health, so it wouldn't be a very long fight at all, and class advantage. But because Rage is unaffected by ability accuracy reduction, I would rather use Doom for this one. Although this was far from my cleanest Tigra fight, I actually got saved a few times by the Nick Fury evade synergy. I don't know, it's a bit of a weird fight for me. It's like my parries weren't working properly or something, and the timing was just off. Although she does have some very quirky animations, very annoying animations really. Like that special 1, I don't know how I got hit by that last hit, because that last hit is very easy to dex. I'm not sure if I just mistimed the dex, or yeah, I had some input lag or something, but yeah. So at least now my special 2 will do a bit more damage with the incinerates. And then I was holding block a bit just to get her to not throw a special attack, and then I don't know what happened there, but apparently Nick Fury synergy saved me there. So I do throw the special 2 with 1 Fury, and she does get 3 Fury buffs from it. So now I'm going to use the special 1 to nullify them all, get another special 2, and finish her off. Alright, now moving on, second fight in section 2, we have a Mojo with Aggression Prowess and Power Focus 2. So this is a pretty standard Quake fight. I've Quaked Mojo many times in war before. I usually use Quake for Mojos, unless it's a boss of course. And I just like Quaking Mojo. I actually enjoy Quaking him more than most champs, because the fight is generally more interactive, because you do have to... Well, you don't have to, it just depends on which prompts and if you have concussion active, but generally you do have to play around these prompts and sort of adapt your playing style to what pops up on the screen. So when he says dash back, that's when I like to heavy parry. When he says block a hit, that's when I heavy dex. So that's generally the safe way to Quake Mojo. Just gotta, watch his prompts and avoid doing them. Although some it doesn't really matter, like when he says charge a heavy attack, that one is generally safe to do because charging a heavy attack will apply concussion anyway, so no ability accuracy. And you already have the dexterity buff, so as long as you don't lose that, you're not going to take any degen damage. The main reason for it is just to prevent him from gaining too much power. So you don't have to worry about him throwing a special 1 in the middle of the fight. So yeah, it's a pretty good matchup for Quake. But I mean, she doesn't really have that many bad matchups. Okay, now I'm going to heal up Doom because I actually am going to use him against this invisible woman. With Ebb and Flow Intercept and Redoubled Termination. There is also Crumbling armor, but Doom is armor break immune, so that's not going to play an effect. And the main reason I'm using Doom for this invisible woman is because of Redoubled Termination, because she's going to be getting a lot of power from Nick Fury's bleeds. And Doom does have some decent damage over time, so you can counter the force field. Although it did take time with the Ebb and Flow node. So I'm going to go ahead and do the usual Doom rotation. So yeah, right now I'm not really doing that much damage because of the force field. And I actually forgot about this, but when I do hit her when she does have the force field, I do get exhaustion debuffs on me. And what those things do is lower your power gain rate by 25% each. So even though I'm power stealing her, I'm actually not really power stealing, I'm just draining her power. And then just by force of habit, I threw a special 2 after the heavy attack while she was blocking, forgetting that I don't have the aura so it won't be unblockable. So yeah, that was a bit of a waste because I actually did want to remove her force field with the incinerates. So I go in and do a shortened Doom combo, just to make sure she doesn't go invisible in the middle of my combo and then punish me. Then I can just parry, drop a medium attack to miss and disable the invisibility, and then carry on. So yeah, 1 whole minute has gone and I've barely done any damage. So it's actually not looking good. 95% after a full minute. That's really not good. And then unfortunately the force field does come back, but I'm still going to throw that special 3. So I do get those exhaustions back on me, so I can't really steal her power. So once again, at least now I have a Fury, so I can disable it a little bit faster. Invisibility comes back, just make sure I parry before I miss. Yeah, at this stage I'm like, okay, maybe it's not the best idea to do the usual Doom rotation. So I'm just gonna intercept and then drop a special 2 real quick, because that should give me some good damage with the Fury passive. And yeah, so now we are 2 minutes in and she's at about 61%. So we are still basically in the reach of not timing out, but I barely did any damage in the first minute, so I'm not too worried about it. And now I've built a good amount of those destructible charges, so I'm not too worried about stubborn anymore. So now my strategy is just to try to intercept before throwing a special 2 or special 3. And ideally make sure she doesn't have her force field up when I do that. So yeah, Doom isn't exactly a perfect counter for this fight, but he can get it done pretty effectively. It just takes a bit longer than the average fight, although I could have done it faster if I tried to intercept more. Also, I'm not boosted for this one, but if it was a rank 3 invisible woman, then I probably would have boosted. And then I did have an epic fail of an intercept attempt, where she did actually manage to parry me. which I thought was kind of funny because at least I'm using Doom, who is pretty tanky, so if she were to drop a full combo on me, it wouldn't actually do that much damage because most champs just fail or struggle to crit against Doom. And then I do get a successful intercept just before throwing the special 3, so that should do some pretty good damage. Can do the usual Doom rotation, but I'm still not going to because she doesn't have that much power. Just want to get to 2 balls before the passive fury expires, then I can drop a nice special 2. And that does take her out. So yeah, not a bad fight for Doom. And now we're going to move on to the mini bosses, and I did take 2 today, going on the left. And the first one's going to be this Hulkbuster with Rage, Extend, and Return Policy. So this is a fight that I have done with Doom. I think it was in Season 20, and I actually almost timed out. I definitely underestimated Hulkbuster on this node. I thought it would be a straightforward Doom fight, but you know, with Return Policy, you can't really power control very effectively. So if you want a power steal, you are going to end up nullifying anyway because he does gain a lot of buffs. And whenever you nullify, he gains power. And you kind of do need to nullify to have good damage with Doom because he does gain some armor buffs. So with Doom, I was just using special 2s for this fight, which took a bit of time. I don't know, maybe there is a better way to play it where you can actually use a special 3 for the Fury and control his power. Although also the special 2 is not that easy to evade. And it can be unblockable, so I was just baiting the special 1, but I couldn't always punish it because he would be unstoppable sometimes. So I'd have to bait it, then parry, then I could start doing damage. Although that might have been before they changed the attack tactic to where you get the destructible removers. Also, I wasn't very familiar with his mechanics at the time. This was my first Hulkbuster I fought since he got buffed. I just figured Doom should work well because he is shock immune and he generally does well for rage nodes, but yeah, didn't quite work out that way. So today I figured let's just Quake it, you know, keep it simple. I can always just heavy parry because I actually don't have any memory of Quaking Hulkbuster in the past. So I wasn't very familiar with his animations or the timing for the heavy only. It was only about, 40 seconds into the fight when I was like, okay, I'm getting comfortable with these animations now. I can probably do a bit of heavy only. And yeah, so I did start doing a bit more heavy only towards the middle of the fight. And throwing in some parries whenever he starts a combo next to me. And turns out he is actually not that difficult to heavy only. Although I did get hit once towards the end where I just mistimed an evade on the last hit of his combo. But unfortunately you won't actually get to see that because the recording kind of got messed up at that point for some reason. The game didn't lag or anything, just the recording decided to not work as intended, I guess. And I say unfortunately because I know how some of you just love watching me get hit, especially with Quake and War. But yeah, besides that, it was a pretty straightforward fight. And I definitely do prefer Quake for this fight compared to anyone else. Alright, so he goes down. Not the quickest fight, but he did have Rage, which lowered my damage. So yeah, it's a pretty standard Rage fight with Quake. So now for the last fight, we have the Storm Pyramid X with Hurt Locker, Power Focus 1, Enhanced Special 1, and Power Drain. Or in other words, we have the Storm Pyramid X with things Quake doesn't care about. So now I'm just gonna heal her up a bit for the last fight just to be extra safe. So this is a very standard Quake fight, pretty simple one in general. Just heavy dex your way to victory. And there's not much to it. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for this video. And we did end up losing this war. It was a very close war till the end. We kind of underestimated a few of their placements, such as a rank 3 Magneto boss. And they played a little bit better than us. Just a tad. A bit of an unfortunate one to lose, but at least I was happy with my individual performance. And at the time I'm making this recording, we have finished War 8, and that was a pretty epic war for me. I did 10 fights because I ended up taking a rank 3 thing boss with Nick Fury. I also had quite an interesting fight against a Mysterio on Power Snack. And then I also got to bring back a certain cosmic god who I'm very fond of. I'll probably upload that one in the next day or two. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you soon.